it is such a dangerous game to place your self-esteem and your self-worth outside of yourself, because I've done it so many times.
Me too.
I,
Me too.
I I had this job that was like my dream job that I worked 10 years to get. I gave up everything for, and it was good for about 5 minutes. And then I realized that my boss was narcissistic, and I wanted a different job but in the same industry. And so then I worked about 4 years, and then I got laid off. And I was like, I don't know what to do now. Because not only did I lose my job, but I lost everything, my apartment, my car, my independence, just like everything. But more important than all of that for me was like my identity. I didn't even
Oh
know
my
who I
God.
was, because I was so wrapped up in that job, and the feelings that I got from like almost feeling better than everybody else, because it was like on the inside I just felt so bad about myself. But when I had this job that was a pretty prestigious job, and it was something that was really hard to get, so for me it was like, okay, this is where my sense of importance and self-worth comes from.
Mm-hmm.
It's all wrapped up in this. And then when it was gone, it's like, what do I do now? I don't even know who I am.
Really?
I don't even know where to start now, because it's all gone.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because I think particularly for a lot of women, when I talk about things external to us, it seems to be tied to some sort of partner, right? And like that breakup that happens. But even the identity that's so attached to the job and to how we're perceived, our reputation, our status quo, right? Like where we rank in the hierarchy of just our society in general. Is that ego attaching itself to the identity. It's the mind that's telling you you're better than everyone else, so you don't actually have to deal with feelings. Other people can deal with feelings. You're way more advanced than that, right? Like all that stuff. The same
Yeah.
way as when you meet someone new. I mean, what do you say? Hi, I'm Keidi and I am and I do this, right? It's all about the things that then people can start putting together who you are. So when you strip away, like when you no longer can call yourself like what your job is, if you're married, if you what kind of status you have, if you have the latest fashions, like if you have the Instagram following, any of that stuff, when you peel all of that, who are you? And that's, you know, a really big deep question to dive into, but it's an important one. It's an important one for you to dive in within yourself to see who what your values are and what core beliefs and things that you care about, because that's part of who makes you who you are. It's not the car, it's not the travel luxury, it's none of the other external stuff.
Yeah. It's scary too when you think of, or at least I do, think of myself as an, an INFJ. That's a big identity for me.
Mhm.
And I like to think of myself as like, somebody who thinks about things deeply, somebody who cares about other people, and somebody who has like this higher purpose. I want to do something really special with my life. But then when I start thinking about who I am as a person, I think about my brand new iPhone and the nice car that I have and the fact that I drink Starbucks in the morning. And it's like, when you start taking away all of those things, it's like, oh, well, wow, maybe I am a lot more superficial than what I thought I was.
Well, I think honestly, like it's the shift in the mindset and how we think about that. It's when we strip down all these external things that we value so much, and we strive and like overextend ourselves and hustle our way up to get like that shiny object syndrome, that when we get this thing, then I will be a complete person. Then everyone will know that I'm worthy of love, I am worthy of existing, and all of that stuff. But when we strip all of that away and we come back to what we care about, which is making an impact in the world, being a service to others, any of these things, it brings it back to that we're actually all a lot more similar than we are different, which is the biggest trip for your mind, because your mind wants to think that it's so special, that you're the only person that can do this. And that's why you must rank higher than everyone else. Because that's all it gets you. I mean, it gets you the external stuff. It doesn't get you any more peace. It doesn't bring you any more happiness. It brings you money and fame and all that stuff brings you freedom, sure, for the time being. But then you can only live that for so long, and then you're like back to square one of like, how do I actually feel within me?